So this is going to be the tutorial to create light painting in your photographs. So basically you would start off with it's like a regular photograph like this. And you can create light effects to it to do something like this pretty much. Alright, so I'm going to basically show you how to do this in Photoshop today. And when you go about with experimenting with the light painting, it's really gonna be like kind of like more like an experimental thing. There's not really a set way of how to do it, but I will explain a couple different options you can do to create this type of an effect. All right, so first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna click and drag this into Photoshop and load up the image. So I'm just waiting on it to load. Alright, so once it's loaded up, the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to create a completely new layer. Alright, this is basically going to be the layer where you're going to do your light painting. If you want, you can double click on it and rename it light painting. And the way we're going to do your light painting is we're actually going to be using this tool called the Wacom tablet. And basically, the Wacom tablet allows you to free draw on the computer. So you're going to go into the toolbar, click on the pen tool. So you can click on the pen tool. It looks like this. It may be set on. Actually, you might need to set it. So you click and hold the mouse button to change the settings. It should be on pen tool by default, but you want to actually change it to freeform pen tool. Alright, basically with the Wacom tablet, it's going to kind of work like, drawing with like a pencil or a pen. And, you're just going to draw some lines to, create your, the lines that you use for your light painting. So I'm going to be kind of doing something similar to like what I did in that picture you saw earlier. I'm just going to make some lines that go out of the camera. So, other things you can do too is, you can have the light wrap around objects, or have it going out of things, or you can draw like things that go around it. So there's several different ways you can do your light painting. I do highly recommend just doing a just like a quick Google search on it, or I'll go Safari. Well, I'm just gonna start drawing my lines. I'm gonna show you some other examples of different light paintings you can do. So I'm gonna draw some lines that are either going out. Oops, computer was lagging. Either going out of it like that. And feel free to redo your lines if you need to. Command Z will undo it. You want to have some nice lines, maybe some swirls. Basically I'm just drawing some squiggly lines that are going out of from the center. And, if you don't like how the lines look, feel free to take your time with these lines. If you want to delete the lines, you would right-click it and click on Delete Path to delete the lines. So, I'm just gonna draw some lines here. Yeah, you do really want to take your time with it. Make it look nice. Again, I'm just gonna do it real quickly, just so for the sake of the video. I'm just gonna do one more curve here. Okay, so I drew some lines there, but going back to Safari, I'm gonna just type in light painting on your search, and you can see a lot of different examples. So it kind of gives you like ideas of how you want to do your lines, how you want them to look. I think it's more interesting when the light kind of wraps around objects or things in the picture. So, you want to take a look at it. Alright. Now, there is actually like a physical way of doing this light painting, but we don't have like the equipment or the materials to do that, so we're just going to do it all in Photoshop. So once you've, created your lines, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to click on the brush tool, and you're going to just change some of these options. So you're going to change this to 100 opacity. And your brushes, so the brushes that we start off with is kind of very limited, so you're going to have to click on this tab here. So this is like settings. Basically the settings gives you more brushes. And you want to click on the button that says assorted brushes. And click OK. And this will change how your brushes looks. So like these ones here, I find are pretty useful, but you want to find like brushes that are you know, a little bit more obscure in shape, that have more like a dynamic shape to it. And you'll find that you're gonna have more nicer lines when you use these types of brushes. And again, you want to resize it big enough where it's you know, goes along with the picture. So I want it like decently big, the lines, but you know, not too big though. But basically, the paths that you trace, this is like for the pencil, it's gonna create lines using those shapes. So, and then one other thing you're gonna do is you're going to go to Windows, Brush, and we're gonna make some more adjustments to the brushes. So you want to click on the one that says Shape Dynamics. So basically, this will you know, work with the pressure sensitivity of your brush. So you can just leave that alone. It's basically just focusing on just the pressure of the pen. Then you want to click on you gotta click on transfer. You want to actually click on this button here. This will give you like all the tools you need. So yeah, this is basically the same thing as transfer. So you click on this or you click on this button here. But just keep in mind though, if you just click on this tab here, you gotta make sure to change your control to pen pressure. But it's a lot easier to just click that button to get that to work. And then smoothing, you can leave that checked. So these are all the settings you need. And then just make sure to change your color to white to make your brush. Alright, so you got the settings all set that you need to get the brush to work. And then you would go to your the layers and click on the one that says path. If you don't have path, you go to Windows and path. And this is like basically the lines that you create. These are paths that I made. So if you right click on the work path and you click on stroke path, and make sure to click on simulate pressure, change this to your brush tool, and then you're going to click OK. And once you click OK, then it's going to basically draw out the lines for you using the pressure sensitivity that we did. So I click on this tool here, and I'm just going to right click on the screen, delete the path, so that'll get rid of those lines that we made. But basically the tools we set or the pressure sensitivity, so it's like a little bit thicker on the inside, a little thinner on the edges, and then you have like this fade in or fade out effect going toward the middle. Alright, but you know, this is how you're gonna make your the lines. Now if you're not happy with the lines, then you know, I would just redraw some lines again, because yeah, I'll be honest, like the one that I did here, the lines that I made for this one, it took me actually a couple of tries to get the way that I wanted to look. Alright, so you know, don't feel bad if it doesn't look that great. So I'm gonna go with this one. These, you know, I feel like these lines could be better, but just the sake for you know, you guys learn how to do the light paint, I'm gonna move on. So the next thing I would do is you know, same thing like we did with your the type tool. You're gonna right click on your light painting layer and click on blending options. Okay, and you guys are probably familiar with these different tools. You know, basically these tools we use for the specifically for the type tool to create effects for your letters, your words. You can do the same thing with lines that you draw on the in the Photoshop, or you know, if you cut out things on the edges, it'll create effects on the edges. We're gonna click on this one that says outer glow, and you know, we're gonna change the color. So I'm gonna do the red color like I did in my example, and then you want to click on this one that says not spread but the size. The size is gonna be basically just you know, pushing out the red colors a little bit more, and then if you want the red outline to show up more, you click on the spread. So you just want to play around with this, and you can leave it on screen. You know, I play around with this. You can always go back to it, but then the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna click on this one, this inner glow, so you check it, and click on the tab. And this one I have to change it to red as well, so I'm gonna do like the same red. And I'm actually gonna click on normal for the blending type, just because you know, I want the inside to show up as actual red. And you know, I'm just gonna play around with the size and the choke. You know, you don't want to do too much where it's like a red, but you want to have it like where you have like this nice red edge around it. kind of like that almost. You can see a difference though. You click away, click on that. You can see a difference. You can also play around with the opacity a little bit. If it's a little too red, you can fade it out. Alright, so that's how you get the effects. And then the last thing, they make it look a little bit more of like a light effect, because this is more like kind of like a drawing of like a light effect on it. To make it look a little bit more realistic, you know, what you could do is you can change the overlay to, or you can change it from normal to overlay. Or if you want, you can experiment with these different ones. You know, see what you like. I kind of like the overlay though, but I would do like the overlay, and then you can duplicate this layer a couple of times. Well, you might not need to duplicate it too much, just because it's so bright already. You know, you can leave it like that, and like, you know, I think this is fine actually, because you know, the other one I had was a little bit more faded, so I had to do a couple layers of it. You know, you can leave it like this, and then this one here, you know, maybe you might want to do is you might want to click on turn off the effects for it, and then that'll kind of like push the whites a little bit more. So you see how like the whites kind of go a little bit stronger now. You can also fade it out too if it's a little bit too strong. So, you know, that's how you go about with it. So you can see a difference though if I were to, I'm going to duplicate it one more time just so you see a difference though between like the overlays and without it. So this one I'm just going to leave it on normal. So this is like originally what we had before. Looks like this. So it kind of looks like a drawing almost that we made, but you know, if you did it the other way, it'll look like this. It's basically like from this to this. You get more like a natural look to it with the overlays. So, you know, I'm going to keep the overlays. And then the last thing you can do is you can go back to your background layer and, you know, just make adjustments to your brightness and contrast. So do make this adjustment to the actual photo, because you want the you want it to actually go well with the photo. You don't want it to be like kind of like a second thought that you're doing with the picture. And I'm just going to just buff up the contrast a little bit more. And then the colors, you know, if you want, you can do like the same red, although it might be a little bit too red. Like, the reason why I chose to do like a green is because the green color helps to complement the. Is it green? Okay, I think I need to turn it this way. Yeah, so I'm making it more like a green color now. You know, I think the green is like a nice complementary to that bright red. So, you know, you can play around with it, but I'm gonna make it a little bit darker. You know, a lot of this is just kind of like experimenting with the program. And again, you don't have to use that brush that I used. You can always use other brushes as well. I feel like this one kind of works the best with what I'm trying to do here. But you know, you could do like another thing too is you can actually free draw on the layers, and they'll kind of do that effect. So, you know, that's kind of neat though. I'm basically just drawing on this layer here. And, you know, it's kind of creating like the effects by itself. So you don't have to use that pencil, but the pencil does help to kind of control it a little bit better. But, that's pretty much it.